If you're reading this today, Friday morning, well, here's a gentle reminder for you. I hope you didn't forget today is Valentine's Day. Oops. If you're about to scurry out the door for a run to the supermarket or maybe a trip to the hardware store to find something romantic for your gardening sweetheart, take your phone with you, especially if you might be stopping at a flower shop. You just might need to call 911 for an ambulance when you see what the cost of a florist bouquet is with a nice vase. A dozen long-stemmed roses with that nice vase can easily cost you over $100. So how about a more reasonably priced alternative? You can spend the rest on a dinner. How's that? How about living plants that are currently in bloom? Widely available at nurseries, home centers, and florists, these plants will not only save you money, but they look nice in the home or the office for a lot longer. One very colorful Valentine's Day present in the way of a living plant is an orchid. Reasonably priced and easy to grow, choose the Phalaenopsis orchid, also known as the moth orchid. It's not fussy about light or temperature and comes in a wide variety of flower colors, which tend to bloom primarily in winter and spring. You might include a tray and some small gravel with that. And what you do is you set the plant on a tray of gravel, partially fill that tray with water, but be sure the pot is slightly elevated on the gravel so that it isn't sitting in water. That'll help raise the humidity. You might want to add a high-phosphorus water-soluble orchid fertilizer to your gift package as well. Don't want to do orchids? How about African violets? They're not as temperamental as you might believe. African violets can bloom several times a year, given the right environment. Bright, indirect light, such as a south window protected by a sheer curtain. Regular water and humidity, which can be provided by placing the pot on a watery bed of gravel. If there's some doubt about your sweetheart's gardening luck, well, choose the easier-to-grow varieties of African violets. They're the ones with solid green leaves, instead of the more difficult kinds that have variegated leaves. How about an azalea? Both evergreen and deciduous varieties come in a wide array of flower colors, from white to deep purple, and just about every shade in between. Transfer these to a permanent home in the garden after the blooms drop, well after Valentine's Day, and put them in an area that is protected from hot afternoon sun. Give them well-drained soil that will receive regular water. Maybe you don't have a garden space for that, no problem. Small evergreen varieties make suitable houseplants. Just be sure to give them curtain-filtered sunlight that's sunny at least 4 hours a day, out of the direct path of heaters and air conditioners. Also, you could put those azaleas in outdoor pots. Just make sure that you're using what's called an acid soil mix. Usually on the label, that potting mix will refer to rhododendrons, azaleas, and camellias. That would be a good soil mix for a containerized outdoor azalea. You can always choose begonias. Rex begonias are noted for their striking multicolored leaves, and they're sure to look spectacular on the dining room table during a candlelight dinner. Just be sure to place it in an area that gets bright, indirect light afterwards. Since the begonia thrives in high humidity, rest that pot in a tray that contains a layer of gravel and water, and again, keep that pot just above the surface of the water. Cyclamens make a good Valentine's Day gift of a living plant. The heart-shaped variegated green leaves are topped with white, pink, and red blooms that resemble butterfly wings. When the plant dies back, transport the tuber outdoors to a raised bed or a pot in a shady area like the north side of the house. The plant will regenerate next winter, producing more blooms. Can you tell we're in Barking Dog Studios? Yes. Nursery shopping for other colorful plants for Valentine's Day. There's plenty. Don't overlook the containers of mixed succulents, combinations of sedums, sempervirums, and echeverias that have shallow roots and stay in bounds for quite a while. If you're going to be planting straight to the outdoors with this Valentine's Day living plant gift, how about something that's in bloom now in USDA Zone 9, perhaps in USDA Zone 8, camellias and azaleas. And although this may not sound romantic, the hardcore gardener in your life will hug you tightly if you return with bags of high-quality potting soil, or compost, or mulch, or seed-starting mix, or worm castings. Yes, bags of worm castings. Nothing says I love you like a bag of worm castings. You're going to get bonus points, too, by the way, if you convince a tree trimming company to drop off several yards of mulch of chipped and shredded tree parts onto your driveway today, Valentine's Day. And if you really want to be romantic, you can stick a heart-shaped, helium-filled red balloon on top of that pile. And you'll earn a gold star if you help shovel it into the raised beds in the garden areas and the walkways on Saturday. Just a few ideas for Valentine's Day gifts for the gardener in your life.